Have you ever wondered what happens in the universe when someone of immense significance passes away? Imagine, for a moment, the death of a figure so profound that not only the hearts of people, but the very elements of nature itself respond. This is precisely what we encounter in the aftermath of Jesus Christ's death. The events that unfolded were not merely historical footnotes, but extraordinary manifestations of a cosmic shift. What if I told you that at the very moment Jesus breathed his last, the earth itself seemed to mourn? Picture the scene. The sky darkened in the middle of the day, the ground trembled violently, and even the physical barriers that once separated humanity from the divine were torn apart. Each of these phenomena was not just a natural occurrence, but a profound testament to the magnitude of his sacrifice. What do these events tell us about the nature of Jesus' death and its impact on the world? As we delve into the 5 remarkable things that happened immediately after Jesus' death, we will uncover a deeper understanding of how his sacrifice reverberated through both the physical and spiritual realms. 1. The earthquake. The moment Jesus died, a powerful earthquake struck. This was not just a seismic event, but a dramatic response from creation itself. It was as if the earth recognized the enormity of the moment, shaking and splitting rocks in a powerful display of reverence and grief. How can the earth, a mere inanimate object, reflect such profound significance? The very fabric of the natural world seemed to acknowledge the divine tragedy that had occurred. 2. The open tombs. In an extraordinary event recorded only by Matthew, the tombs of saints were opened, and many who had died were resurrected. This miraculous occurrence offers a glimpse into the power of Jesus' death, signaling a profound shift in the spiritual order. These resurrected individuals did not merely return to life. They walked among the living, appearing in Jerusalem and testifying to the transformative power of Christ's sacrifice. What does their resurrection say about the nature of life and death in the light of Jesus' work on the cross? 3. The torn veil. In the temple, the veil that separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. This veil symbolized the separation between God and man, but its tearing signifies that this barrier was now removed. Jesus' death had made a way for humanity to approach God directly. What does this mean for our relationship with the divine? And how does it change our understanding of access to God? 4. The darkness. From noon to 3 in the afternoon, an unnatural darkness covered the land. This wasn't a typical eclipse, but a supernatural phenomenon that signified mourning and divine judgment. The darkness over the land serves as a profound symbol of the weight of Jesus' sacrifice and the cosmic significance of his death. What message was God communicating through this mysterious darkness? 5. The centurion's revelation. Finally, the centurion overseeing Jesus' crucifixion declared, "Truly, this was the Son of God." This statement came from a man accustomed to witnessing death and suffering, but who was profoundly moved by the events surrounding Jesus' crucifixion. How did this hardened soldier come to recognize the truth of Jesus' divine nature? And what does his transformation reveal about the power of the cross? As we explore these extraordinary events, we will see that they are not just isolated incidents, but interconnected signs of a profound spiritual reality. The death of Jesus Christ was a moment when heaven and earth converged, revealing the depth of God's love and the power of his redemptive work. Let's embark on this journey to understand the profound implications of these events and their significance for our lives today. Let's delve into the profound events that transpired immediately following Jesus' death and explore their deeper meanings. 1. The earthquake. When Jesus breathed his last, the earth itself seemed to tremble in response. This was no ordinary quake. It was a seismic event that shook the very foundations of the world. According to the Gospel of Matthew, the earth shook and the rocks were split. Matthew 27, verse 51. This physical manifestation was more than just a natural phenomenon. It was a symbolic representation of the cosmic shift occurring at that moment. An earthquake is often associated with significant change or upheaval. In this case, the earthquake served as a divine sign of the monumental nature of Jesus' death. The tearing of rocks and the shaking of the ground were not merely coincidences, but were imbued with deep spiritual meaning. It was as if the entire creation was acknowledging the significance of the Son of God's sacrifice. The earth, a silent witness to the events of the cross, responded with a dramatic expression of grief and awe. This profound reaction of nature highlights how Jesus' death was not just a human event, but one that affected the entire cosmos. 2. The open tombs. One of the most extraordinary aspects recorded by Matthew is the opening of tombs and the resurrection of many saints who had died. According to Matthew 27, verses 52 to 53, the tombs broke open, and the bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. This event was unparalleled in the biblical narrative and serves as a powerful testimony to the impact of Jesus' death. The resurrection of these saints was not an isolated miracle, but a foretaste of the resurrection power that Jesus' death would bring about. It symbolized the promise of life beyond death, a promise that Jesus himself would fulfill in his own resurrection. The appearance of these resurrected saints in Jerusalem was a profound declaration that the power of Jesus' sacrifice had transcended even death itself. It was a living testimony to the new reality inaugurated by Jesus' death and resurrection, affirming that through him, the power of death had been conquered. 3. The torn veil. Another striking event was the tearing of the veil in the temple. This veil, which separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple, symbolized the separation between God and humanity. The Gospels recount that this veil was torn from top to bottom at the moment of Jesus' death. Matthew 27, verse 51. This tearing was not a trivial occurrence, but a profound theological statement. The veil's destruction signified that the barrier separating humanity from God's presence had been removed. In the past, only the high priest could enter the Holy of Holies, and only once a year, to offer sacrifices for the sins of the people. By tearing the veil, God was declaring that access to his presence was now open to everyone. This was a radical shift in the religious understanding of the time, signifying that Jesus' sacrifice had fulfilled the requirements of the law and opened a new way for believers to approach God. It symbolized the end of the old covenant and the beginning of a new, intimate relationship between God and his people. 4. The darkness. From noon to 3 in the afternoon, an unnatural darkness covered the land. Luke 23, verse 44. This darkness was not due to an eclipse, as it occurred during a full moon, but was a supernatural event that signified mourning and divine judgment. The darkness was a cosmic response to the death of Jesus, highlighting the gravity of the moment. In ancient cultures, darkness often symbolized divine displeasure or significant events. In this case, the darkness served as a visual metaphor for the spiritual darkness that Jesus bore on behalf of humanity. It was as if the creation itself was participating in the sorrow and gravity of the crucifixion. This supernatural darkness underscores the profound impact of Jesus' sacrifice and serves as a reminder of the weight of sin and the cost of redemption. 5. The centurion's revelation. Finally, the reaction of the Roman centurion who witnessed Jesus' death is profoundly significant. Upon observing the earthquake and other extraordinary events, the centurion declared, "Surely he was the Son of God." Matthew 27, verse 54. This statement came from a man accustomed to overseeing numerous executions and who had likely hardened his heart to such events. The centurion's declaration reflects a deep transformation and recognition of Jesus' true identity. Despite his professional detachment, the extraordinary nature of the events surrounding Jesus' death broke through his hardened exterior. His declaration is a powerful testament to the impact of Jesus' sacrifice, showing that even those who were most detached from the religious and cultural context of Jesus could recognize his divine nature. The centurion's acknowledgement of Jesus as the Son of God highlights the universal significance of Christ's death and serves as a reminder of the profound effect that the cross has on all who encounter it. In conclusion, the aftermath of Jesus' death on the cross was marked by extraordinary events that underscore the profound significance of his sacrifice and its far-reaching implications. Let's explore the enduring impact of these events and what they reveal about the transformative power of Christ's work. a cosmic response. The earthquake, the opening of the tombs, the tearing of the veil, the darkness, and the centurion's declaration are not isolated occurrences. They are interconnected signs that collectively proclaim a divine message. Each event served as a testament to the magnitude of Jesus' death and its implications for humanity and creation itself. 1. The earthquake and the divine response. The earthquake that followed Jesus' death was more than a natural disaster. It was a divine response to the most significant event in human history. The shaking of the earth and the splitting of the rocks symbolize a world forever changed by the death of the Son of God. This seismic reaction reflects the deep spiritual reality that Jesus' sacrifice was not just a historical event, but a cosmic shift. It emphasizes that the impact of his death was so profound that it reverberated through the very fabric of creation. 2. The open tombs and the promise of resurrection. The resurrection of the saints and their appearance in Jerusalem was a powerful precursor to the resurrection of Jesus. This event illustrates the victory over death that Jesus' sacrifice accomplished. It was a tangible sign that the power of death had been broken and that a new era of eternal life had begun. The resurrected saints were living proof of the promise that Jesus' death made possible, the assurance of resurrection and eternal life for all who believe. This event was not merely a miraculous occurrence, but a foretaste of the hope and promise that Jesus' resurrection would fully realize. 3. The torn veil and the new access to God. The tearing of the temple veil was a profound symbol of the new relationship between God and humanity. The veil, which once separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the temple, represented the barrier of sin that kept people from fully experiencing God's presence. By tearing the veil, God was declaring that the barrier had been removed. Through Jesus' sacrifice, the way to God was now open to everyone, not just the high priest once a year. This new access signifies that through Christ, believers can approach God with confidence and boldness. It represents a radical shift from the old covenant of law to the new covenant of grace, where believers are invited into a direct, personal relationship with God. 4. The darkness and the symbolism of judgment. The supernatural darkness that covered the land during Jesus' crucifixion was a striking manifestation of divine judgment and mourning. It served as a powerful symbol of the spiritual darkness that Jesus bore on behalf of humanity. The fact that this darkness occurred during the brightest part of the day underscores its extraordinary nature. It reflects the gravity of the moment and the profound spiritual reality of Jesus' sacrifice. This darkness is a reminder of the cost of redemption and the depth of Jesus' suffering as he bore the weight of sin and separation from God. 5. The centurion's revelation and the universal impact. The Roman centurion's declaration that Jesus was the Son of God highlights the universal impact of Christ's death. Despite his hardened demeanor and professional detachment, the centurion's recognition of Jesus' divine nature illustrates that the message of the cross transcends all barriers. It shows that even those who are most removed from religious and cultural contexts can encounter the transformative power of Jesus' sacrifice. The centurion's statement is a powerful testament to the ability of the cross to reach and impact even the most unlikely individuals. The transformative power of the cross. These events collectively reveal the profound and transformative nature of Jesus' sacrifice. They demonstrate that his death was not merely a historical or religious event, but a cosmic and eternal reality that changed the course of human history and the nature of the divine relationship. The earthquake, the open tombs, the torn veil, the darkness, and the centurion's revelation all serve as powerful reminders of the impact of Jesus' death. They illustrate the victory over death, the removal of barriers between God and humanity, the profound spiritual reality of the cross, and the universal reach of its message. As we reflect on these events, we are invited to recognize the depth of Christ's love and sacrifice and to embrace the transformative power of his work. The cross is a symbol of redemption, hope, and new life. It calls us to a deeper understanding of God's love and to a renewed commitment to living out the implications of Jesus' sacrifice in our lives. In embracing the message of the cross, we find that it is not just a historical event, but a living reality that continues to transform hearts and lives today. As we consider the extraordinary events that followed Jesus' death, we are reminded of the profound impact of his sacrifice and the hope and promise it brings to all who believe.